Hi everybody, this is K-Star from kstarphotography.com. So this is the image after I cleaned it up with my patch tool. I went in there. I pretty much used three different tools. I used the patch tool, which is if you hit your hotkey, the letter J, you'll see that I hit the patch tool. I hit the healing brush tool. I hit the spot healing tool. All of those I worked around her skin. I went there pore by pore. Let me zoom in. I went there pore by pore. But in any case, I still kept detail on her skin. So there is some texture in there, which is so important whenever you're retouching skin. I don't like to see images that are just that look just plastic, because the skin is not supposed to look that way. When you look at somebody, their skin doesn't look plastic, their skin has texture to it. And as a photographer, you always want to make sure that you are showing the real person. Obviously you want to perfect the person, you want to make them look glamorous. That's the whole point of glamour photography. But you always want to keep it as real as possible. So that's pretty much what I did on that side, and I just wanted you to see the finished product. Now the next thing that I did as well was dodge and burn. If you hit your hotkey, the letter O, or right here, you have it, you will see the dodge tool, the burn tool, and the sponge tool. The dodge tool lightens areas on your photo. The burn tool, it sounds pretty obvious, it burns or makes areas darker in your photo. And the sponge tool, it's a pretty cool tool. You could either saturate or desaturate areas in your photo. Now, the one thing you always want to be careful is if you're not familiar with this tool and it's your first time working with it, make sure you work with low percentages. Try to keep it in the 4s and the 5s. I'm already used to my pressure on my pen tablet, so I know that I can work on one stroke and get what I need with maybe percentage up to 9 or sometimes even 10. But I don't recommend that for somebody that's just starting. So if you're just starting, please go ahead and stay within the low exposures. And if you have to stroke again, I'd rather have you stroke again than having you stroke once and then having it too harsh and then you having to just keep redoing what you did. So just keep that in mind. The next thing that I wanted you to know that I did in this photo, I didn't only dodge and burn her face, but I also dodge and burn her hair and also her eyes. I saturated a little bit her lips and I dodged and burned her eyes, and I also saturated a little bit the color just to make those beautiful brown eyes pop. Just keep in mind that it's personal preference. You can make it as dramatic as I did, or you can do it a little less. It's really up to you. Now the next thing that I did was to pump up the contrast. I'm going to show you. I'm going to open it right here. Those are the settings that I did. I did 5 on my brightness and 10 on my contrast. So I went a little high for my taste, but it just looked well with that photo. The same thing with the vibrance. I went ahead and I went on a number 10 for the vibrance and a number 4 for saturation. And this last one, I really wanted to show you this because it's really cool. I'm just going to undo it so you can see. That's with and that's without that black and white layer. Let me tell you this. If you go ahead and do your black and white layer, you set your reds a little bit to the right, and then you go ahead and you play with this settings right here, you'll be surprised how cool sometimes your photos will come out. You could do either overlay or soft light. Overlay looks pretty good. Soft light does too. And let me show you the opacity, 100%. That's how it looks. Some people like that. I prefer to keep it on the 27%. There we go. And that works for me. Again, that's personal preference, but you want to go in there and really work that photo. There's not a one button uh, magic button or whatever. I know there's plenty of tools out there that you can purchase that are filters that you can just run through and do things in Photoshop. But I truly believe in just going in there and just working that skin and working that craft. Just really go pore by pore. It's going to take you a lot of time. And don't feel bad, because whenever I retouch images, it can take me and obviously I've been doing it for a while, so it doesn't take me as long as maybe somebody that's just starting. But when I just started, it would take me 2 3 hours just to do one photo. Now it'll take me an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, and that's a lot of time. Because you really have to go in there and take your time. It's your craft, it's your art. It's an art to master skin retouching. So don't be afraid to go in there and just work it and take your time. Now, this is the end of this tutorial. If you like this tutorial and you would like to see many more tutorials, which I will have many more tutorials coming soon, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment and let me know how you like this tutorial, if there's anything else that you would like to see or you would like to learn. Oh, one other thing before I leave you guys. I also went ahead and another thing that I did on this photo, I sharpened it. So I sharpened it just to give it make it just a little sharper, just a little pop, even though it was already sharp, but I sharpened it just to kind of give it that. So I usually use the sharpening tool in the filters, or I also do the high pass, whichever works for you. Again, it's up to you. I like the high pass sometimes. I like the sharpening filter. It depends. But again, subscribe to my channel. Please go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know what you think and what you like and what you don't like. If you don't like something, let me know. And I thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you soon.